This is what Joseph Davidovits did, a largely overlooked mineralogist and Egyptologist. In fact, it is a matter of chemistry and minerals. Here is a simple wooden mold. We mix flaky limestone with white clay called kaolin. Caustic soda is dissolved in water. We mix everything together with a little water. This gives a kind of paste. We pour it into the mold. A few hours later, the paste begins to harden. The minerals bind together thanks to the chemical reaction, which after 30 days gives a real white stone, hard as the covering stones of the pyramid. It is the first concrete of humanity. Today, concrete is a common material, ordinary, but at that time this mixture was noble and expensive. Sodium carbonate comes from natron, a region of Egypt. Hence the symbol in chemistry of sodium Na for natron. Burnt lime is made by heating limestone. When you mix the burnt lime with the sodium carbonate, caustic soda is produced. Kaolin clay is naturally present in limestone in Egypt. This clay limestone is abundant. There are millions of cubic meters. The components are mixed with water and poured into wooden molds. This is how the Egyptians made all the stones. Joseph Davidovits made this discovery in 1989. At the time, he assumed that the stones were molded and poured on site and not cut. He called this process geopolymer. The principle is the same as that of concrete today. Modern cement is made of clay heated at 1,450 degrees Celsius, mixed with water and gravel, producing concrete. The ancients used natron and burnt lime instead of modern cement. This mixture of natron, burnt lime, clay, and limestone at room temperature and in the open air gives the same result as modern concrete. This is geopolymer concrete. The proof is everywhere, in thousands of examples. The rhomboid pyramid seems to come out of a mold. The quality of the concrete is excellent. Davidovits interprets the texts of the Colossi of Memnon differently from the official interpretation. He thinks they mean the concrete was mixed like dough, not the poetic version. They were made like bread, full of love. Indeed, the material is a very complex chemical mixture of siliceous paste. Joseph Davidovits' theory was refuted and relegated to the background for lack of scientific evidence. Years later, he brought the evidence with chemical analyses. Even with very detailed analyses, the chemical difference between a poured stone, artificial, and a natural stone is almost imperceptible. The result is the same, and it is for this reason that geologists saw nothing. He continued the debate, but Egyptologists are still not convinced, or rather, they don't want to be convinced. In 2006, the Egyptian government made an official statement: the stones are not concrete. Case officially closed. But a simple statement cannot physically transform the pyramid from concrete to cut stones. Davidovits provides paleomagnetic analysis results. Every stone in nature at the time of its formation is magnetized by the Earth. That is, each stone has a north, like a compass. All the stones of the pyramid have the same magnetic north, not random. These are chemical analyses carried out under a microscope by Davidovits. Evidence, but they are not enough to convince the public. Do we have other, more convincing evidence apart from chemical and X-ray analyses?
So here is a natural stone found everywhere in nature, and here is a piece of wood. In nature we always find the wood that grows next to the stone. And here is the proof. And here is a stone that I poured with the formula of Joseph Davidovits. And before the stone dried, I inserted a piece of wood, and this piece of wood, it will stay stuck indefinitely. In the Pyramid of Meidum, 70 kilometers below the Giza Plateau and the Great Pyramid, in the heart of the pyramid there is a stone weighing around 2 tons. And inside this stone there is a piece of wood which it is embedded for eternity. This piece of wood has been there for 4,500 years.
But maybe the Egyptians simply dug a hole and inlaid the beam.
No, it is not possible because the stone perfectly meets the beam. Between the stone and the wood there is no mortar. Between the stone and the piece of wood there is no space, not even to insert a pin.
Of course, you shouldn't just rely on a photo. We went to the Meidum Pyramid. The history of Egypt hangs on this beam. Anyone can go there, see it, and touch it.
When you know how to pour a stone like concrete, you will do a second, a third, you will do tens, 100,000, million of blocks, and in so doing you can build a whole pyramid.
The huge stones of the Pyramid of Khafre are made on site with limestone concrete poured into long molds. It is inconceivable to transport this stone. Do you know how many stones of this size there are? Hundreds. It is unimaginable that they were transported and cut. They were cast as well. In the Temple of the Valley of Khafre, there are limestone blocks weighing 300 to 400 tons. The Menkaure Pyramid chamber is made of a single block weighing about 600 tons. One can clearly see the location of the construction beams, left when the concrete was still fresh. By the way, what is this piece of wood doing in the stone? And the most prodigious of all is the wall surrounding the Pyramid of Khafre. This wall is a perfect 90-degree square made of single blocks weighing 500 to 1,000 tons or more. It is 8 meters high, 6 meters wide, and 60 meters long. Two solutions. Either the Egyptians cut the hill, but then one needs to show how it was possible to cut a hill to a height of 8 meters. Or the wall is simply poured concrete. This brings us back to Meidum. If the Egyptians were able to build a pyramid with concrete, it is therefore logical that they could pour a large wall, like all the other buildings in Egypt. Joseph Davidovits, helped by 10 participants, poured 4 blocks weighing 2 tons in 2 weeks. When you have a malleable material that hardens quickly, you can make what you want with it. Pyramids, temples, statues, obelisks, sarcophagus, or vases. Indeed, it is simple. You must understand that to build a pyramid 140 meters high, you need a stone on the ground with a minimum resistance of 15 megapascals. The ABCs of engineering and architecture. This block has a resistance of 25 to 40 megapascals. So scientifically, this stone can support 500 identical blocks without collapsing. The pyramid being 140 meters high, there is more than enough resistance. After many trials and experiments, the Egyptians had acquired the technique they used for the first pyramid of Djoser, built 180 years earlier.